I had the pleasure of attending the SAG screening for The Guard, where you came out at the Pacific Design Center and talked to actors, and you talked about your earliest acting experience, your very first commercial. Could you honestly say at that point that you could see yourself here today in this?
No, I mean, I think that for a lot of actors, we're just kind of going job to job, you know? You just hope there's another one after you finish the first one, because we're always unemployed. You know, by the time they say that's a wrap on the movie then, or the TV show or whatever, you're hoping for the next thing. So I never anticipated that this would be where I was, and even today, I still don't consider that I'm there, and won't until I'm looking back on a career and going, oh, okay, well, I'm here now, and that's where I was then.
So working on something like Iron Man 3, that's not just another day at the office for you, though, right?
No, it's a big spectacle, as big as they get, you know, with all the bells and whistles, and a lot of fun in this one, because I got to do a lot of the physical work that I wanted to do for a long time, be in an action movie and actually be in the action.
Now you've achieved a character status where, you know, I'm sure it follows you to a certain extent. People see you as the Colonel, this big comic book character.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an upside to that? Is there any downside to that?
I haven't really felt any downside to it. You know, it's just been a lot of fun, and it's great to have the opportunity to play a comic book character. I mean, I don't know how many black quote unquote superheroes that, you know, we get to see in movies, so it's cool to be in that niche, and it's been a lot of fun working with Robert. So, you know, if this is the last one, if it's the culmination, if the trilogy is over and we're done, I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. And if we can mine these characters and stories for more in the future, it'd be fun to be a part of that as well.
You know, with a franchise like this, with each chapter that comes out, the bar gets raised. So the bar for this set really high. From your perspective, do you think the film clears the bar?
Well, I think that it is sort of the fulfillment of a promise that was made in the first and second one, you know. Especially for my character, Tony and Rhodey's relationship, that was sort of teed up, I guess, so to speak, at the end of Iron Man 2 with the battle in the Japanese garden at the end. You know, it's just been strengthened, and the heat's just been turned up throughout. So I was really happy to see how it all came together. It's a spectacle.
Lots of changes. Let's start with the director. What was that like for you?
Well, you know, Shane really sort of comes from that buddy genre and that action buddy pick. He kind of really created the hybrid in a way. And it was great to see it in its full high octane, you know, iteration in this movie, where just more ability to do more, and it's inside of a bigger frame. But I think the thing that grounds all of that is still the relationships between the characters. And I think, you know, between Tony and Pepper, and between Tony and Rhodey, I think you believe what's happening inside of all of this extreme spectacle.
Other new faces: Ben, Guy, Rebecca. That must just be a lot of fun to have that much talent to work with.
Well, it's nice. I would have liked to have worked with him. You know, it was the second movie I've done with Guy, and it's the third scene I've ever done with him. You know, all of these characters are having their own tracks in this film. You know, I got to work with Sir Ben a little bit, but I would love to have had the opportunity to do more with them. So it's one of these things where we never know what's happening in each other's storylines until we see the whole thing put together.
So tell me about seeing the whole thing put together for the first time.
That was a couple of days ago in London. It takes me a minute as an audience member to just be an audience member. You know, I'm gonna have to see it many more times, and probably years later, where I'll be able to actually sit back and appreciate what it is. But it was great to hear the audience's reactions, and it was great to see people laughing at the places that we intended them to laugh, and really, you know, enjoying the movie.
What was your thoughts when you first saw the script for the very first time? This has so many twists and turns that we can't even talk about because we don't want to reveal it to the audience. Did you get it from the first time?
You know, I was talking with Gwyneth about it too, and we both had a very similar. I said I didn't really understand the script the first time I read it. She said I didn't either. I was like, I didn't get it. I felt dumb. I was like, what's happening? Where's, I don't know who's who. What's the history? It was written in a way, especially with, you know, the characters who predate where we began, and then, you know, they come in later as different entities, and it was just very a lot of twists and turns within it. So getting to see it all put together at the end and going, oh, that's what that meant, was, you know, another whole experience.
And would you say, from your perspective, that the writing overall also achieved a higher bar in this movie than just the typical comic book film?
Yeah, I think that the writing was strong, and I think that the characters, the depiction of the characters is, as I said, something that these relationships, I think you believe them inside of all of this tumult and all of this spectacle. And, you know, it's also doesn't take itself seriously to the extent that we don't understand what it is. And I think, again, that's a tone that's achieved by Kevin Feige and behind the scenes, and by the writing of Drew and the control of Shane on the set.
Last question. Who has the better suit, you or Tony?
Well, it's clearly me. I mean, mine's in the garage, so I would say I possess the better suit. I don't know if he has it at all.
Robert pointed out that your suit is on loan.
Robert's incorrect. So we'll leave it at that.
Thanks, man. Enjoyed it. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Congratulations.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.